So the coaching, the course, the info market, it is evolving very quickly. And trust, connection, and authenticity is the new currency in today's market. So if you're still relying on old school marketing funnels, then you're leaving money on the table, because with this change, a new strategy for acquiring premium high ticket clients is taking over. And I'm about to show you how this works. But first, why should you listen to me, right? Well, this is the same strategy that has helped people like Antonio acquire high ticket clients for $3K a year, $3K a year. Some of these are on payment plans, so they're $999 a month, $1,300 a year. This is the same strategy that helped Gabe go from selling a few low ticket courses to doing over 43K in less than a month, right? This is on Thrivecart. So this actually works. And this is also the same thing that has helped us help Joseph go from 0 to 7K in a single week. And you can see here the payments on school, $597 a year, $597 a year, $67 a month, right? These are a little bit lower ticket, but as you can see, this also works for high ticket sales, okay? So in order to understand the context here, I think it's important we really look at the old way of doing things, right? And the old way was relying on these complex multi-step funnels that require a ton of time, effort to build, maintain, and optimize, right? They don't have any personalization that is tailored to the lead coming into the funnel. So people tend to feel like just another number or a cog in your machine. They lack engagement and interaction. There's no back and forth. It's pretty much a one-way street, right? And these funnels often repel people who place a high value on their time. And these are generally high ticket buyers. High ticket buyers don't want to go through your upsells, downsells, sequences, and your full funnels. They just want to talk to somebody and understand, get their questions answered, and get the result, right? So these old school marketing funnels are really designed to lead prospects through a predetermined sequence, right? With very minimal interaction. And, generally, these are built on softwares like HighLevel or ClickFunnels, which are great softwares. But the problem is they lack all of these things that are important in today's changing market, right? So in a traditional funnel, what you'll see is an ad, right? And an ad leads to an opt-in page, which is a simple web page where you collect an email address, name, phone number, right? And then you essentially guide people through a funnel that has one upsell, two upsells, a downsell, and then when somebody becomes a customer, they finally land on a thank you page. One example of this is a Tripwire funnel, right? Where you have an ad, which could be either organic or paid, and then you have a lead magnet. On the lead magnet, there's a free resource, and on the thank you page of that lead magnet is an upsell to something like a $50 per month community, right? But then if you don't buy that $50 per month community, they'll downsell you to a $7 product, right? And so these are decent for low ticket products, right? And another example is an SLO funnel. So an SLO is a self-liquidating offer. So you essentially have a low ticket offer, right? An ad that goes to a low ticket offer, and this ad spin is actually, or this money from the low ticket offer is actually used to liquidate the ad spin so that people can acquire customers for free into their business. After that low ticket offer, which you'll generally see is an upsell, maybe 2, 3, 4 upsells, a downsell, right? And then you have the thank you page. And this really came from the man himself, who I absolutely love and respect, which is Russell Brunson, who started this marketing campaign saying that you're one funnel away, right? And Russell Brunson said this, and he pretty much was telling people that the key to unlocking success, the key to unlocking more sales in their business is to have the right funnel. Now you have to look at the motivation behind that, right? Because Russell Brunson is the owner of ClickFunnels, and he actually used this campaign to grow ClickFunnels into a $100 million plus business, okay? And this message was so popular that it actually proliferated across the entire coaching info market and created this broad belief that the key to unlocking business success was just by creating the right funnel. And this created a world full of funnel hackers. So everybody was checking out everybody else's funnels. And now we have funnel hackers hacking other funnel hackers, right? And I actually think that this might be one of the most brilliant marketing campaigns ever, because he really shifted the entire market's belief to all you need is the right funnel. And let me be clear that these SLO, Tripwire, Lead Magnet, and webinar funnels, they still do work, right? And we still use these funnels with our growth partners and clients, but I want to show you that the market is shifting and buyers are more skeptical today than ever. They're also more aware of these old school marketing tactics, of these funnels, right? And so they're tired of going through these generic funnels that all look the same, that all say the same thing, that all have the same old school marketing tactics. And it seems like people want more personalization and tailored help, right? So an alternative way of doing things, or the new way of doing things, is now, instead of pushing traffic to a generic funnel, right, we first build trust through our personal brand, right? Instead of pushing them to a funnel, we drive them to have conversations with us, okay? So the new landing page actually becomes your social profile, right? And so this is a VSL page that I created. But now, instead of pushing people to a VSL page where I'm pushing people to the social opt-in page. And in that social opt-in page, this is my personal brand that builds credibility, and it essentially can do the same thing as these traditional VSL pages. The new funnels are becoming conversations, right? What used to look like the lead capture, the upsells, the downsells, the thank you pages are now just turning into Instagram conversations, right? And this is an example of somebody, Daniel, who followed me because he saw one of my YouTube videos. I reached out to him. I said, hey, thanks for the follow. I see you're also crushing it on YouTube. And, he told me kind of what he was looking for and why he followed me. He said he was, in the research phase of starting and launching his new community. And now, after this conversation, after he followed me on social, we're working together, and he came in as a high ticket client, right? So this works because personal connection builds trust faster. The conversations feel authentic instead of putting somebody through, a marketing funnel. And because of this, because there's more authenticity, because there's more trust, there's actually even higher conversion rates, especially with high ticket offers, okay? In addition to that, instead of building funnels and spending all your time building, testing, iterating these funnels, with these social funnels, per se, you can actually test messages and offers immediately without spending hours on building funnels, right? So what we do at Community Accelerator is we use a hybrid approach of both automated and manual DMs, okay, in order to build that trust, in order to build that likeness. When somebody lands on your profile, you get them to DM you, and then we use that combination of automation and manual DMs, okay? And your ability to automate conversations largely depends on the trust you've built in the market, right? Where does trust come from? Well, it comes from your own personal success, right? It comes from social proof, other people verifying that you know what you're talking about, and your service actually works, it actually gets results. Case studies, which show how you can take somebody from their current state to their desired state through your offer, and proof that you've done it before, right? And testimonials, which is essentially the same thing as social proof, but it's people verifying you, your offer, your service, your product, whatever it is you're selling. And I have generally found that there is a correlation between automation and the trust that you've built up, right? So if you have very low trust, then you have a very unlikely probability of somebody going through, your automations or even responding to your automations, because you don't really have much trust there. And so you need more personal interaction, you need more engagement, and this could actually require more work and time on the front end, where you're doing research about your customers, where you're sending videos that are much more personalized to your customers, right? On the other hand, though, if you have a ton of trust built up in the market and you already have loads of case studies, you have loads of success stories, you have influencers verifying you, then that is where you can start to really automate on the other side of things, right? So tools for success. How we do this is we essentially create content on Instagram with a CTA, right? We have conversations with ManyChat on the front end, and this is where we have our automations, and then we drive people into our free school community where they get community, connections, and we can continue the conversations and even have conversions within the school community, right? So here's kind of what the strategy looks like. First, you have organic paid traffic, right? This is going to drive people to your social opt-ins, and the whole goal of this is to get a cold lead to come into your world and actually get to know who you are and what you do. Once they come into your world, you can have IG stories and DM ads that give a call to action to tell people to get into your DMs if they want a valuable resource that you have, like a lead magnet, like a free community, etc. And the cool part about this is if you automate the beginning part of a conversation within somebody's or within your own Instagram DMs, then Instagram actually sees that piece of content as more valuable because it's getting more engagement, and it actually pushes the content out to more of your audience so that more people see it, and it really creates a flywheel effect so that you're getting more leads and you're getting more people into your conversations. And that is one of the best parts about this ManyChat software that you can use. So after you get them into your DMs, right here is where you can also use ManyChat to capture lead information like the email address, any other information. You can do even market research with ManyChat, and you can qualify the prospect and ask them where they are at in their business, what is their income level, what is their revenue, depending on what your offer is, so that you can qualify them to make sure that they're a good fit to work with you. And after you qualify them, after you get their lead information, you could then send an invitation, right? And we like to send invitations to our free school communities. We like to send invitations to our workshops. So after you invite them to the next step, whether that's a free school community, whether that's a workshop, whether that's a call, you can continue to have the conversation with them and continue to answer questions they have, continue to help them understand the problems that they're experiencing. And after you have this conversation, they'll really feel that rapport and trust and connection between you. They'll understand your problem. They'll understand their problem rather, and how they can move forward with you, what services you provide. And that is where you can lay in a conversion. And we do all of our conversions within schools. These can be different methods, which I'm going to cover in a little bit later on in this video. But these can be like workshops. They can be campaigns directly within school, similar to an email campaign, but it's in school on a community wall. And you can even have CTAs to book a call for higher ticket sales, right? And after you have these conversion events, then finally they become customers, okay? And here's a real life example of that of one of our clients, Antonio. Right, so Antonio has a little bit of a following. So we posted a story on his Instagram. We're hosting a workshop, and we said, hey, are you sitting on savings but you don't know how to invest it? Then reply with workshop, and we'll show you how to invest it in real estate, right? And this is a little blurry now, so we're having technical issues here. But when somebody replies to the workshop, we like their comment, right? And then when they comment, we say, hey, I see you're interested. Are you here for the free workshop, right? And then we have a button that says, sign me up. Somebody can just press this and it's an automatic response. And that response, tells Instagram that people are engaging with this post. And so it's going to push to more people, which also leads to more people going in the DMs, right? So after they respond, they say, okay, yes, sign me up. We say, cool, what is your first name? Austin. Now we have tailored responses. Thank you, Austin. We can address people by their first name. And we ask for, this is an email address. I know you can't see it, but we ask for an email address. I give an email address, and then we capture the email right in the DMs. So we don't even need the opt-in page, right? We're capturing leads straight through his social profile. And from here, we have a workshop, but we really push people into this free school community. And within the free school community, we host the conversion event. So we host the workshop, right? And then during the workshop, during the webinar, during the call, we push people to buy the offer, buy the product, buy the coaching service, whatever it is. And that is how we generate these 3K clients, right? Some of these are on payment plans, like I said, so they're like $9.99 a month, $3,000 a year, etc. And we're not the only ones doing this, because these big influencers are also using this strategy. Like Iman Gadzhi, for example, right? He has this entire campaign on his Instagram stories on this account where he's essentially saying, we've spent 10 years perfecting a system. Our clients don't just learn a few tips, they get access to everything. If you're ready to scale the same systems we've used to build multiple 8-figure brands, DM me 8FL, right? And so Iman Gadzhi has this same call to action so that his followers DM him 8FL. And what happens if you DM him 8FL? Well, he says, hey, great to connect, right? It feels personalized. It's like, oh, I'm connecting with Iman Gadzhi, pretty cool. And then he asked a qualifying question. He said, can I ask you a couple questions? Good with me, solid. Where are you at in your business right now? I respond 20K per month. That's the number we did in November. He said, solid numbers that, and then, pushes me to book a call with his team directly. Now, he doesn't have anybody going into a free school because, he has so much trust in the market that he doesn't necessarily need that free community, and he's still gonna have dozens of people trust and buy from him because he's built up so much trust because he has this 8-figure team and is one of the best creators, in the entire world. But the way I like to look at this is you use content to drive people into you, right? You connect with them, and then you convert them as customers, okay? So for content, we actually use a hybrid approach with both organic traffic and paid Instagram ads, okay? And the whole purpose of this is to turn a cold audience into warm traffic through your personal brand, right? It also accelerates lead flow, right? And it can start low pressure conversations with potential leads. So for organic content, what we do is reels and posts that demonstrate who you help, what you offer, why it matters, and how you solve their problems, right? And this really builds trust by leading with value through your content. And you can do this through educational tips, storytelling, and then ultimately showing client results. And I have noticed for our best clients that the best clients have a very particular uniqueness to them, and they combine a different set of skills. They have a unique background, and they combine all of this stuff to be extremely useful and unique within the market. And that is extremely key, is differentiating yourself from everybody else, right? And then, we use stories to create behind the scenes looks. We have Q&As in the stories. We add engagement in the stories like polls, questions, and quizzes. And then we have these DM or these Instagram story campaigns similar to Iman Gadzhi, where we have a campaign and are pretty much describing the offer and why people should listen to us, what makes us unique, and then eventually a call to action that says DM me the keyword growth, if you want my exact strategy for XYZ. So here's an example, DM me the word growth if you want my exact strategy for closing 5K clients using school, right? Paid ads are used to accelerate and then scale the conversations, right? And there's multiple types of paid ads. These are the ones that seem to just be crushing right now. Follow me ads, right, which is very top of funnel. This is reaching out to a cold audience, and this is just designed to grow your audience and gain new followers. So this targets your cold audience with high value posts or videos. And the clear CTA on a follow me ad is just, hey, follow me for more strategies exactly like this, right? And so this is not directly going to have a super high ROI because it's more passive, but it builds your brand, it builds your audience, and it's turning those cold customers into a warm audience, right? Middle of funnel is a little bit more aggressive, but there's these DM ads, which essentially are advertising campaigns that say, DM me this keyword, right? And it directly invites the prospect into your DMs, okay? And so an example of this is DM me the word clients if you want my free DM closing script, right? And within those conversations, you can qualify these leads instantly and then start automated conversations like I showed you earlier with Iman Gadzhi, where he has an automated conversation where he's qualifying me to see how much money does my business make to see if I can pay for his really high ticket program, okay? And then lastly, there's also retargeting ads, okay? And these retargeting ads, it targets people who have already been engaging or who are already following you, already engaging with your post. You can even target people who have watched particular YouTube videos, who have engaged in X amount of days, right? And so these people are really already pretty warm because they follow you, they know you, they probably consumed a few pieces of your content depending on how you set it up. And for them, they're already following you, and then they see an ad to say, hey, DM me. It gives them a clear call to action, and it gives them something valuable that says, DM me if you want XYZ, insert, desire of customer. And an example of this is just, hey, ready to scale, DM me for my 5K client roadmap, right? So lastly, we have, or step 2 is we have connection. And We use both automation and manual DMs to build connection. And like I said, this largely depends on the volume of your leads and the trust that you've built up in the market. So if you have low volume and low trust, you will most likely need to start with manual DMs, right? If you have high volume and high trust, this is when you can start looking into automating your DMs, right? So the goal of automation is to capture the lead info, right? To boost your Instagram visibility, as I said earlier in that flywheel effect, because more engagement leads to more visibility on your Instagram, and invite your customers to your school community, right? While keeping the entire process efficient and hands off. So you don't need a setter, you don't need to be engaging yourself. But again, you need this if you have a lot of leads and you don't have the time, to manually go in and nurture and add value to leads personally. Right? So this is going to mean more engagement because IG gives you an algorithm boost with greater reach. The Instagram algorithm pushes your stories to more people, more of your followers, right? You can capture lead information automatically, collecting names, email addresses, qualifying details. You can also invite people to your free school community or other resources. Let's say, you want them to watch a specific YouTube video. You can push them towards that YouTube video so that they are more problem aware, solution aware, etc. Right? And automation really streamlines lead generation and it increases your reach while qualifying these clients like on autopilot. Okay. So on the front end, we like to have automated conversations, right? So your story gets more reach, but then on the back end, you can even have these manual conversations where you're just answering questions, overcoming objections, inviting people to the next step, right? And the goal of these manual conversations, again, build trust and rapport. And a lot of the times this leads to higher conversion rate. Okay, so building trust and rapport is absolutely key in sales. So if you're doing these manual conversations, you can send voice notes or video messages, and you can tailor these a lot more towards the prospect themselves, so they feel like you care, they feel like they're taken care of, they feel like this is actually a personal interaction, and they're not just talking to some robot, right? You can also answer questions, so you can just provide direct helpful responses based on their own unique situations, right? You can clarify the next steps instead of just sounding like a generic script. And again, you can overcome objections and you can have these back and forth conversations directly within the DM and address their concerns, address their questions in real time, right? And this actually really creates a genuine connection and it breaks sales resistance because you just seem like a person who's trying to help. You don't seem like somebody who's trying to sell all the time, right? And that is why the market is losing trust, because people are just trying to sell all the time and people are so tired of getting sold to. And so the way that you break around this is that you're genuine, you're authentic, you have conversations, you point people towards resources, you point people towards everything that you can do to help them, right? And the hybrid approach works really well because a lot of the times, this automation can do the heavy lifting by capturing and qualifying leads, right? And then the personalization and manual can build more trust and authority when it matters most. When the customer has built, the initial trust, you already have the lead, and then you can start overcoming objections and answering questions. So the combination keeps your outreach scalable while also humanizing the entire experience, right? Step 3 is conversion. And the majority of our conversion mechanisms are hosted directly in free school communities, okay? In school, you can have conversations in the DMs, right? You can have CTAs to get on a call. You can have one-to-many presentations and events, right? So let's break down each of these. DM conversations, right? This is when you can engage directly, like I said, in the DMs with the prospect, and you can do this both on Instagram or School. School has a DM feature as well. You're building rapport, you're qualifying clients, and you're giving personalized advice, you're addressing objections, and you can even pitch the offer within the DMs. And I know several people who are doing thousands and thousands of sales per month without any sales calls, without any one-to-many, it's all through the DMs, right? But it takes more trust of the market to do that. So closing in the DMs is best for hot leads who are already familiar with you, so the highest trust is required. But it is the fastest path to closing since it's personal and it's immediate, right? You don't have to get on a 60-minute sales calls. Sometimes people just have one question, you answer the question, they're like, okay, I'm good to go, right? So sales calls is another very popular conversion mechanism that, pretty much everybody does. And this is when you have, you're conversating with somebody in the DMs, and then you're pushing them to a sales call, and on the sales call, you can get on Zoom, you can get on a call. That's when you can answer questions, overcome objections, right? And this is best for warm leads. So you want to still make sure the lead knows the problem that you solve in the solution and the frameworks that you teach, right? And medium trust is required here. So, if you're a really good closer and you have a really amazing offer and it's kind of a no-brainer, the lead can be colder, but generally we want to educate the lead so that they go through the awareness cycle before they even get on the call. Then on the call, you can just answer a few questions, good to go, and then they're a client, right? And then we have one-to-many conversion events, right? And these are live or automated group events where you're selling one-to-many, like webinars, workshops, Q&A sessions, of big events. And this is essentially providing valuable content in these live workshops or live one-to-many presentations while positioning your offer as the next step for the client, right? And so in these workshops, in these webinars, we have CTAs to either book a call or directly pitch the offer at the end of the webinar, which when you do that, it's a lot more scalable because you can fill a room and then have 100, 200, 300 eyes on your offer, right? You can't do that in a 60-minute sales call. You can't do that, at the same time in the DMs. So these one-to-many conversion events are very highly leveraged, and they're best, for warm to hot leads. And there's about medium trust required because you can spend 90 minutes, you can spend a few days with somebody in a group setting, in that time that you spend together actually builds that trust, okay? So the key advantage of this is it's scalable and efficient for reaching multiple prospects while still feeling a little bit personal, because you're in real time and you're on the call with them, right? And what we like to do is stack all three together. So, you start with content, and that content brings in cold traffic. Your social opt-in page warms them up, right? Your content even warms them up, and then they get an invitation to go to your DMs, right? Within the DMs, you invite them into the school community. In the school community, you can provide more value, build up more credibility with them, help them go through that awareness cycle, and then eventually get them on a workshop, get them on a call, get them on a webinar, and then convert them into high-ticket clients. And by doing this, this really creates a flywheel effect where your audience stays engaged, you're building trust, and you're converting them over time. Because not everybody who comes into your world is ready to buy. Some people will be ready to buy immediately. Other people will need to wait, 6 months, maybe even a year, but you want to continue to provide value over that time so down the line, long term, they turn into your customers. So I hope that was helpful. If you want help scaling your school community or your coaching business to 20K per month plus, just DM me the word IGDM and we can see if we're a good fit. My Instagram is Austin Cold Iron. That's about it. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next video.